What's going on, guys? King Trats here, back with another video on the channel, and as you can see, we went back to Popeyes. The last time I went there, I ordered $40 worth of food and didn't get any of it. So I decided to take a little further of a drive and go to a different Popeyes and see how we fared this time. And miraculously, no joke, I got everything that I asked for. Did I go in the restaurant and double check and triple check just to make sure and then have to clarify a few things? Yeah, sure, but I got everything. We will be trying some hacks that I saw on TikTok, as well as the Cajun rice I never had yet because they never have it. I wanted to try the hush puppy shrimp, but they didn't have it. You know, I can't get mad at somebody for running out of something. It's really not like that deep, so I'm not gonna get mad about that. They gave me popcorn shrimp instead. I knew beforehand, so I'm not upset. And these biscuits are fresh. I made sure I asked, hey, you could get fresh biscuits this time? Because last time I went on TikTok, I made a TikTok about the Popeyes dry biscuit, and this one is actually warm, and yeah, we're gonna try that. And they actually gave me all of the sauces. So I got my honey, I got my grape jelly, I got my hot sauce, and I even got my sauces I asked for, the Bayou Buffalo and the Sweet Heat. And yes, we got a lot of stuff to go through. I wanted to do the Jollibee remix and try the Popeyes chicken with the gravy, asked for a cup of gravy. They broke me off with that, so we got a full slate today, and that is what we have. Nice little Popeyes, whole order. Unbelievable. So yeah, if you're digging the cons, you want to appreciate the fact that I'm a psychopath and drove past 3 Popeyes just to get to this Popeye to get my order right. Man, hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe, you know, all that cringy YouTube stuff. Again, it's appreciated. There were some people who commented that they have been watching for a while and didn't hit the subscribe button because I never reminded them. So I'm going to do so again. It's completely up to you. I am not going to say, oh, you're bad or a good person if you don't want to. You feel like I gotta earn your thumbs up. I appreciate it. Stick around. I talk too much, but I just don't eat. I talk and review, and that is kind of my background in case you're stumbling upon this in the first time. So don't expect me to be quiet ever. I always gotta say that. Anyway, they were running out of mac and cheese, so they just gave me this, believe it or not. But they put it in a large container, but it's actually a regular, and it's like the booty end. It's really not fresh at all. But I said, okay, I'll take it. It's all good. I'm not really that type of person. But the first thing that I want to do is I want to try the Popeyes chicken in the gravy. I heard it actually is good, so I've never done it. Believe it or not, I've eaten a lot of Popeyes chicken in my life, but never have I tried to dip it in the gravy. I don't know why. Don't know. But we got our Popeyes gravy. Popeyes gravy does not look as good off the bat as a Jollibee gravy because it's a lot thinner. Jollibee has a thicker consistency with gravy. I feel like it's made for the chicken. But I know it tastes good. So here's your gravy. Here's that drummy drum. And here's that dip. Let's see. This is spicy, not regular, by the way. It's pretty good. That was really like onto something when they said, okay, you got dipped all chicken in the gravy. Like, yeah, arteries, not so much. The gravy doesn't coat as well as the Jollibee gravy. And again, Popeye's gravy is just, it's always been this way. That's how they do it. It's a lot thinner of a gravy. But the flavor's nice. I can definitely get down with that. A lot of people ask me for comparisons. Is something better than the other? Is Popeye's gravy better than Jollibee's? Emphatically, no. No. I also love Popeye's chicken. Love. But I will, after trying Jollibee a few times, give the slight edge to Jollibee. Only because of this. Their spicy variant is actually spicy. Popeyes just tastes a little more seasoned, if you ask me. It's not crazy spicy. But they do have the goat fries. And we got our fries in here. Let's go with a gravy dip. And I'm gonna eat this first. Everybody said you gotta eat the biscuits when they're fresh. I drove home as fast as I possibly could just to set this up and make sure I got me a fresh biscuit. This one, it don't got the acoustics that the other one had. The other one was straight spackle. This one seems a lot fresher. So I'm gonna bust this bad boy open. And yes, and when I'm actually eating a biscuit that's fresh, you know I'm gonna get that. I do use honey, I do use jelly. I don't want people to get this twisted. When I did that with Popeye's gravy, biscuit last time, but when I did with Popeye's biscuit last time, I was just pointing out the fact that it was not fresh. And when they're not fresh, they are like hockey pucks. When you get a fresh Popeye's biscuit, that's more honey, that's okay. Where is my jelly? Jelly! There you go, grape jelly. trying to move fast. Got to eat this fast because if you get, it's got like a 2-minute shelf life. It's worse than a McDonald's biscuit. So we got the honey and the jelly. And that thing is fire. You really gotta eat these fast, man. People were really salty about the fact that I said, I was talking about that biscuit, not all biscuits. I love Popeyes biscuits, but they gotta be fresh. If you eat a Popeyes biscuit past like 7 minutes, I don't need no drink. I don't need no nothing. It's buttery. It's still warm. Going back in. I'll put the honey over here. You see me scrambling. Scrambling for a reason. Give me that honey. Yes, sir. When you get them like this, they are fire. No lies detected. Let's go in the review. I'm gonna tell you this. Just off one bite or one biscuit and one piece of chicken, this Popeyes is way better than the one I had last time. That is, You know Popeyes is diffy sometimes. Popcorn shrimp. These actually seem a lot fresher than the ones I got last time, because last time it looked like they just scraped them from the bottom. These are still crispy. They're bigger than the ones that I saw before. No issue there either. None. But what I want to do, see how many, oh, I got an extra box. What I want to do is this. I saw this hack on TikTok. I got tagged in it like 5 or 6 times. So what they did was they took their nuggets. So I got this empty box here, and I'm going to do what a lot of people do to do this at Chick-fil-A, etc. I'm going to make me a little hack. So I got a bunch of nuggets. I think I got like 8, but they seem like they gave me 46. All right, so they're in there. Y'all see them? There we go. Okay. Then you're supposed to do this. Okay, I need both my hands. You're supposed to go in with 3 different sauces. All right, I'm gonna walk y'all through this real quick because I saw it and I said y'all gotta try this. So you're supposed to go in with the sweet heat. I just missed half of the I'm not gonna lie. Supposed to go in. Here we go. You're supposed to go in with the buffalo. Don't miss this time, you freaking idiot. All right, so we're going with the buffalo. Okay. And then you're supposed to go in with a honey. Again, this looked so fire, I had to try this. All right, so we got same thing. We're gonna go in again. This time you go in with the honey. And I missed. Okay, and you cover this up. I shouldn't have cut it, but I'm stupid. Here, we'll just do it like this. This way it won't spill all over the place. All right. This is exactly how they did it. I'm not changing anything. Hold on. Hold on, no more. Can y'all see that? Okay. And you're supposed to go in with this honey buffalo sweet heat. This is why I love social media. The nuggets are perfect for this because they're smaller, and when they fry them, they get crunchier. So they're still crispy. Oh, a shrimp's in here? Okay, let's try it with a shrimp. We got a shrimp too. That's off the chain. That's really good. It's sweet, but it's also got that nice spice to it. The buffalo sauce it coats perfectly because it's really much thicker. Extra sweet with the honey. That's a dub. This is my chunky self-thought on my own. Got the mac and cheese. I'm gonna take that same one. We're gonna make yourself. Yeah. It's like a famous bowl. Bear with me. Popeyes. I think I'm on to something here. I don't know if this is an apt comparison, but I'm gonna put it to you like this. Damn, that's good. What that tastes like is if somebody said, I'm gonna make you a KFC famous bowl, but they knew how to season food. KFC famous bowls are fire. The mac and cheese famous bowl, which I had, is also fire. But KFC's sides are a little unseasoned. That's like the seasoned version of the mac and cheese bowl they had. Y'all need to try that. And I also need to try this Cajun rice. They used to have this, but it's been a while, and they finally brought it back. And every time I try to order it, they never give it to me. So I finally did get it. We got some Cajun rice. Let's see what we got. Yeah, that's bland as hell. One more bite. I'm not gonna sit here and say this nasty. That would be the bad uses of words. But I do feel like it's not very... The red beans and rice is still way better than this. It just tastes like... Honestly, there's some box, like Zatarain's boxes, that is better than this. But I'm not gonna sit here and say I wouldn't eat it, because I like rice in general, but it's missing something. So 1 second, please. We're just gonna Jollibee the hell out of this. And let's see what happens. That's much better. That's a lot more flavor. That's way too much damn shrimp. Why do I like that? We just, like, hacked the whole Popeyes menu today. Wow. The crispy shrimp just adds a little something to it with that gravy. This is all fire right now. I ain't gonna much lie to you. And I didn't even touch this mac and cheese. I ain't even touched these mashed potatoes yet. The mashed potatoes are okay to me. They're nothing great. You know, they taste very instant in my opinion. But I'll eat them. Now, I don't know. And maybe somebody that's maybe from like Louisiana or something can tell me. Now, I've had red beans and rice. I've had a lot of Cajun food. But not specifically like a mashed potato and gravy. Is your gravy thinner in general? Because Popeye's gravy is always really thin. And the gravy that I'm used to eating, the kind my mom makes, grandma makes, and I have a lot of family in the South, but most of them are in Georgia. Is your gravy thinner than that? Because the gravy I'm used to eating is much thicker than that. It just seems very thin. Now, I don't know if that's just a Popeyes thing, so I'm asking respectfully. I really don't know. Is that a Popeyes thing, or is that like a Louisiana thing? Either way, it tastes good. It's just, the consistency. I like a thicker gravy. Maybe that's just me. Ooh, another nugget. W. Just go in here. Here we go. Right here. Honestly, just take all their chicken and dip it and stuff. It's delicious. W meal. Now, as I've been doing, I'm going to polish off the rest of this. Get my drink in my gentleman's glass because it's time to get distinguished. Got my lemonade sugar-free. I have another topic I kind of want to touch on. For some reason, it always gets to relationships, but I saw this on TikTok. And it was a very long 2-part video, so I can't show it all. It would take like 10 minutes, and y'all ain't got time for that. So, I'm going to paraphrase. There's a woman who had been dating a guy for about 5 or 6 months, and the title of the video said she broke up, or he broke up with her because of her past. And she presented the question, do you think this is okay? Long story short, she had been in a lot of bad relationships, abusive relationships, traumatic relationships, which is tough. But like most strong women out there, she made it into a positive by writing a book about it. I don't remember the name of the book, but it describes all of her past relationships. And from the paraphrase part, it was pretty bad. Abusive, etc. And the current guy that she was with, about 5 months in the relationship, kind of started to have reservations because he didn't want to hear about these things. He said that it gave him anxiety, which is tough. I can see both sides of that. But she had been posting things about her personal relationship, and he didn't necessarily like that. He ended up leaving because of it. He said he didn't want his public stuff or private life out there because he asked her she was going to make content not just about her past but present stuff. And she said absolutely, it's her job, which I completely understand. So he said, okay, I don't want to be with you anymore. He kind of stopped talking to her, but then he left her a voice note explaining why. Basically that he was, anxious about the whole thing. He didn't feel comfortable about the whole thing. And he had own stuff he needed to work on, and he really cared about her. And he just felt like they weren't the right fit, more or less. It was a long voice note. She played it on her profile for the world to hear. And then she stopped and said, do you think that a real man would stay and be able to help her through trauma, etc.? And I have to say this. I've said this about relationships from the beginning. I've always, and I still say it all the time. Compatibility. Ooh, another nugget. Only I can get serious combos and do that. Compatibility is a major, major, major key. I don't think he was wrong. I don't think she was wrong for wanting to do it and have her job and put it online. But I will say this. By playing that voice note for the world to see, for the world to hear, she proved this point. I don't know if she has permission. I doubt it. But she played the entire thing. Him basically saying, how emotional he was about it, how he cared for her. He said, I adore you. I remember that specifically. And the whole world heard this. There's nothing wrong with wanting to display your relationship in public. There's also nothing wrong with not wanting to have your relationship displayed in public. Everybody's different when it comes to that. And I think it was good on him that he recognized that they weren't going to fit and it would lead to more trauma, more arguments. And he hit the eject button. To me, that makes him a man. Because he was strong enough to admit that he said it because I'm weak as himself. Because I can't handle it. He didn't blame her. He blamed himself. To me, that takes a strong person to do, because a lot of people would have took that red flag that he said, I can't do this, ran right through it, and then been another soundbite in a year or another possibly worse relationship than the one she'd already had. So I do commend him for that. Personally, I don't think it's right to write someone a voice note to break up with them. You probably want to do it in person. But from what he said he wasn't strong enough to do it. He would want to stay. And he knew he was making the right decision, so he stuck with it. I know that sometimes when people are angry or upset, she was probably hurt that he left. That they say things and it probably isn't the right way to word things. But given the fact that she's reliving her trauma online for the world to see, that's something that takes healing, takes someone that has to be understanding of that, because not everybody's going to want that in the public eye. I don't think either of them are wrong for sticking to their guns. The only thing I would say that I think was wrong was her playing that message like that. Personally, that's a big fear of mine if I'm in a relationship. I know we're in a social media age, but I don't want my private life when it comes to relationships and stuff like that. I don't need the world to know about it. So it is definitely a thing these days where I don't want to end up on some girl's TikTok because I broke up with her. for the world to be out there. I'm mature enough that if I was going to break up with somebody, I would do it without being insulting, so it wouldn't be an insulting thing. But even that, where he wasn't insulting, which she agreed with, the whole world still knows exactly what he's thinking. He said himself he has anxiety, so imagine him stumbling upon that on his For You page. So, I will say this to everybody, because this is a huge, I'm always showing y'all food, contention point. I hear it a lot from women especially. They say that, I don't want to date somebody that's afraid to post me, doesn't want to show me off. You're not wrong for that. But not everybody wants to do that. Personally, if I had 6 girlfriends this entire time, you would never know. I don't need the world knowing what I'm doing like that. When you invite the entire world into your relationship, it can make things unnecessary stress, unnecessary trauma, unnecessary drama. And I dealt with that in my past. As an athlete in college, people knew who I was dating, and people were always in mine or her business. I remember this one specifically, and I don't go into relationship stuff, but again, this was 10 years ago. One time I went out with my friends, we went to the bar, and I wasn't feeling well. Like, I had a really bad migraine, and where I lived was right down the street from where the bar was that we were at. So I told my friends, I'm like, yo, I don't feel good, bro. Like, I got a massive headache, I'm about to go home. So I walked home and went to sleep. The very next day, I woke up with a message from the girl I was dating, which I even told her. I said, yo, I'm going home, I'm going to sleep. I said, you want to come over? You can, but I really don't feel well. And she said, no, it's cool, blah, blah, blah. I had no issue with that. So I went home and I went to bed. And woke up the next morning with a text message from her and a picture of me walking in the direction of my house, and there's a girl about 2 feet from me. And someone told her that I took this girl home. I don't even know who that girl is till this day. Like, I didn't even know there was someone standing near me, but there was literally somebody standing near me, maybe 2 or 3 feet away, walking in the same direction as me. And she got sent a picture of that and said, who is this girl? And she flipped out. Because some random person wrote a Facebook message because they knew who I was. I'm not saying that I was the coolest person ever, but I was the captain of the football team, so people knew who I was. They knew who I was dating, and they felt the need to look out for you, girl. You know what I'm saying? You know how women do stuff like that, and I have no problem with that. You want to look out for somebody, look out for somebody, but make sure you actually are looking out for something that needs to be looking out for. And we got in a fight over it. I said, I don't know that girl, which is what most people who cheat say. Now, I'm not an angel in my past. I've never once said that I was. But in this specific incident, I didn't do anything. She was adamant that I did. I had to explain myself over a situation that had nothing to do with it, all because someone that didn't know either of us unnecessarily wanted to start some drama. That annoyed the shit out of me. It caused a big fight. And from the other side, the things that I said could have been taken as gaslighting, but I sincerely meant them. I said, if you don't trust me, and you think that's what I'm doing, then you should break up with me. Because that's not what I'm doing. I wasn't doing that. I was actually, like, being faithful and all that other stuff. But look at the drama that it caused. And I don't need that. This woman makes relationship blogs. She posts about her dating, the dates she's been on. I went on this date with this guy. There's nothing wrong with that. But not everybody wants to be a part of that. If I met a woman and she said, oh, I'm like a relationship, whatever, and she's like, I post all my dates, I'm not going, bro. I don't care how good it goes. I don't care if she does nothing but compliment me the entire time. I don't need that. I don't need external validation, so I don't care what the world thinks about how I treat her, even if it's good. I don't want it. I don't want to be a part of it. So understand this, people. I ain't touched this chicken. Understand that. Understand this. When you want to be in a relationship, now I'm no expert, and some people, how can you say I'm not. But I do have thoughts on it, so I'm just giving you my thoughts. When you're in a relationship, You gotta lay your cards on the table. This is what it is from day one. And too many people put out fronts. I respect both of them for the fact that they said who they were from jump. And it didn't work from jump. One of the worst things you can do when you're in a relationship is try to put on this front. And a lot of people do it. 6 months, a year later, you find out who that person really is. Or what they've really done. A lot of guys wouldn't like it if they found out that the woman that they dated was hooking up with a lot of people in the same area, and finding out from someone else would be 1,000 times worse than not telling them. And a lot of times people will say, well, I don't want to tell you because you get upset. But now it looks like you were trying to hide something if I find out. So imagine if dudes, like, I'll put this both ways, but fellas, ladies, whatever. If you were on a date, you were with somebody for 5 months and they were like, oh yeah, you know, do you know so-and-so? That's my girl. And they were like, oh, for real? No, I'm just saying, like, I know a lot of people she goes up with. And she starts naming people. This, I've witnessed this too. They start naming people. They slept with this person, that person, this person. It's a tough pill to swallow, but at least if I know what I'm dealing with, I can either say yes or no before it gets too late. Or whatever. If you have a criminal record, whatever. You have to lay those cards on the table, and you have to have someone accept you for who you are. Now, obviously, there are personal things you don't have to go into detail with, but if you feel like you're getting serious with somebody, you got to lay all that stuff out there. And you have to let both of y'all make the choice. Is this something that I want to be with? Is this something that I can deal with? Because there's nothing worse than finding out something from a third party. When you find out something from another person and then you have to come back and go, this is what happened, that's tough. That's really tough. So, again, I'm no expert, but I feel like I've dealt with a lot of situations, and it's almost always better to lay your cards out there. Again, if you're talking traumatic stuff, you don't have to lay out your trauma. I'm talking more about things that they might find out from someone else that could possibly be looked at as something as a red flag. Understand the difference. If you dealt with some really bad situations in your past and you don't want to talk about that till you're getting ready, that's different. But if you're making content or stuff, you got to tell them. People may not understand this, but when you're dealing with a content creator, I'm one myself, and I've alluded to this, but even her content's going to come first. That's her job, that's her livelihood, that's her passion. You have to accept all of that stuff. It's not easy dating somebody in the public eye. One, people will openly flirt with your significant other. If you are not cool with that, you're going to have a problem. Sometimes, depending on who you're dating, they could banter with people. They could, maybe flirt back. I don't know, but you have to set those boundaries and say those types of things. And I can't say this enough. I'm a person who makes content. I get messages from women and stuff all the time, like, oh, I want to take you out. It's like, I'm not saying this rude. I'm saying this respectfully. You really don't know what you're signing up for. I make videos every single day. You want to go out to eat? I'm not. I can't. I don't want to. I shouldn't say I can't. I don't want to. I want to make content. If you're not cool with that, we got a problem. You get what I'm saying? If push comes to shove, like, this is what I love to do. So you have to be cool with that. Dating a professional athlete would be the Uber version of that level, the crazy version. Or a coach. You want to be a coach's wife? People, oh, this guy, and like, you know what that's like? You don't see them for 6 months out of the year. And when you do, they're working anyway. You want to date an NFL player? Go look on TikTok at the women who date NFL players and how many times they have to move, especially if you're a journeyman. You play for 10 different teams in 10 years? Are you staying or coming? People date people based on potential too much, where they say, oh, well, this can change, that can change. Don't do that. Date somebody at face value. Do not date somebody because it could be this. It's never good. And I've had plenty of women in my past tell me they thought things were going to be different when I flat out told them what they were dealing with. And I'm talking 5, 6 years, don't matter. I've always laid my cards out on the table, and still, they thought they were going to change me. And I've always said, if you are not cool with who this is, who I am, we're probably not compatible. So, take all that into consideration. But when I saw that, it just got my wheels turning a lot. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here because it's past 9 p.m. It's Sunday night. It's Game of Thrones time for me. I love this new series. People are asking about it. There's only one episode. This will be the second. When there's a little more, I can go into more depth. Or maybe when the second channel starts off, we can talk about TV shows and pop culture, etc. That's why I want to do the second channel. where I can get more topics. 'Cause I have a lot of stuff I like to talk about. But anyway, food was delicious. Popeyes finally. W. Wow. Bravo. Only one I'm going to from now on. But we'll be back tomorrow. More content. I love y'all. Hand signs. They made it to YouTube.